excused, and we have Rick Asai is excused.
And Rob Gibbs is joining us by Zoom.
Thank you, and Rob Gibbs via Zoom. Have you heard anything from AJ?
I have not, no.
Okay, AJ currently being unexcused, but he may show up.
And Michael will be back shortly.
Yes, Michael will be here returning. You have all that, Linda?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda before we adopt it.
Okay,
Second?
thank you, Tommy.
I would move that we add personnel to our executive session this evening.
Second?
Thank you, Tommy. All in favor of the adopted agenda? Okay, that's unanimous. Okay, moving on to announcements. Do we have any announcements tonight?
You got
I don't have any.
You don't.
Oh, no,
I have an announcement that I'd like to make. For those of you that signed up for online voting, I received my notification from them. It came in my spam mail. So if you're not seeing it and you've signed up early, you should already have an email or a text message for you to vote. If it's in your email, please take a look. It very well could be in your spam folder. I know my confirmation that I voted comes back in the email, so just please take a look if you
Yeah, mine was in spam too.
You did?
Good to know.
Okay,
Mine was in my regular email.
okay,
Thanks,
thank
Linda.
you.
Very good, thank you, Linda, that's good to
Okay.
know. So check your spam folders for your confirmation on your email voting. Any other announcements?
I've got an announcement.
Thank you,
I've
Daniel.
got a new member for the ACC. She's actually running for this term, but she.
Is that Terry?
Yeah, Terry. So she wanted to join us a little bit early. She's been vetted and she's ready to go.
How do you say her last name again?
Black.
How do you spell it?
Niblack?
Yeah.
Yeah, we,
Black?
Yeah.
yeah, nice lady.
Yeah.
We
Very
met when we
nice
were opening
lady.
the envelope, they were opening the envelopes.
Very interesting background,
Yes.
very interesting. She'll be a nice ad.
So what was your request?
That.
It was just an announcement.
Oh, just an announcement?
Yeah, just the board.
Thank you.
And the board should.
I guess we have to approve her.
Yeah.
Do we need to add under new business then?
That
I
would
guess that would
be,
be new business.
yeah, we need to amend the agenda, that you want to appoint it now, is what
Yeah,
you're saying?
yes. So we'll get it for 2 extra sessions.
Not go through all the fanfare.
You wanna do it tonight, or are we gonna add, or just wait?
Add. Yeah.
Okay. So E, new business. So I move we amend the agenda again to adding a new member to ACC.
Second.
Thank you, Tommy and Linda. All in favor? Aye. Okay, that's unanimous. And then we'll put that in new business 7G.
Under D,
Yes, D.
I've got new business ABC, so it'll be a D.
Yeah, D, correct. D is in dog.
I would also like to add to new business.
Wait. And that's Terry and I Black.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
I'd like to discuss the postal contract or agreement with Sudden Valley that was signed in 2009.
That would be, no.
It expired in 2019.
Well, send that out to us so we know what we're even talking about or looking at.
Yeah, I was gonna try to put a packet together and I just ran out of time.
Yeah, no worries.
Do you just wanna discuss this, or you wanna wait till you see if you can get something?
Well, I've got the information. I have to look up the.
Why don't you put it in for next board meeting?
Yeah,
And then we'll put it on the agenda and we can have the
Have
information.
Actual,
files.
and then if you can get the stuff out early, so that way we kind of look at it, peruse
They
it.
actually delivered a package to my front door today.
Ooh, that's
And
good.
rang the doorbell.
I I wish that they would I understand during the winter, but there isn't any really reason they can't get up on our roads.
Tom, would you copy me and I'll do an approval memo?
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
you all in favor of the amended agenda? Oh, we already
We did it,
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's
that was
unanimous.
unanimous, correct? Yeah, unanimous. Okay, perfect. Okay, moving on to item number 3 is property owner comments. We have 15 minutes total, 3 minutes per person. Do we have any property owner comments tonight? And Spencer, do you have anybody online?
Yes,
You
I
do?
don't, it just says iPhone.
I mean, with a hand up or?
Yeah, it just says iPhone, I'm not sure who it is. Should I,
Yes, do.
Please do.
should I let them,
Yeah, please, go ahead and make sure they can hear us and we can hear them and their name and so forth. And let them know they're up to speak.
you are up to speak. Whoever iPhone is.
With your hand raised.
Their hand is raised.
Yes.
That's- Are they not able or not even there?
I'm not sure.
All right, in that case, we'll go to.
Hello, hello,
Okay, hi.
can you hear me?
Yes, can you give your name and location?
Okay, sorry about that, I'm just new to the Zoom thing. Name is Stephen Miller, and I live at 9 Clematis Lane.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, I sent an email today to the Board of Directors expressing my concern about a lot for sale by the association at 3 Lake Louise View Drive, I believe it is.
Yes.
My concern is that I believe the property, any sale of property by the association should be, the notification of that should be received by all members of the community. And it's my understanding that that didn't happen. In fact, only people, maybe 8 to 10 people in the immediate vicinity were notified of the sale of this lot. And there was already an offer made on the lot at the time the people were notified. And I'm wondering if the person who made the offer is a neighbor, and if they're not a neighbor, how come they know that the lot's for sale, but other people don't? I don't think this is very good policy. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe the lot isn't for sale by the association. But anyways, I think that, and there was only a week, apparently, I saw the email, to submit an offer, which is really not a very good heads up. So I'm asking the board that tonight they were supposed to approve the bids or consider the bids, and I would ask them to postpone this until every member of the association is notified of the sale of this lot so that they have an opportunity if they wish to buy it. Otherwise, it seems that this is a little bit underhanded and maybe somebody has some advance notice about the sale of this lot and can come in with an offer right away under the deadline. But anyways, that's my concern.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, do we have any other, yes, please,
Where should I go?
up to the podium here.
Okay.
Is there a microphone up there?
I don't need a microphone. My name's Elizabeth Huthard. I live at 8 Westbrook Court. I'm also president of the garden club. Want you all to know.
The Area Z Garden Club.
No, this is the library garden.
Oh.
And the club is, anyway, it's very involved. But on October 18th, we will be giving away free daffodil bulbs. That's Daffy Day. So you can come get a bag of free daffodil bulbs, which came from Rusin Gardens this year. And we're also going to have hot cider and probably pumpkin donuts. And the nice thing about daffodils is they're the perfect plant for Sudden Valley because nobody eats them. They're poisonous. The deer don't eat them, the squirrels don't dig them up. It's our signature flower. So hope we see you all on.
Where are they holding it? We're at the library.
They're at the library.
At the library, thank you.
What till the date again and the time?
It's October 18th, 11 to 3.
11 to 3, perfect.
We'll see if we can't get
Fantastic.
something posted.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. And the deer won't eat them for sure.
Nobody eats them. Should a spouse get a rowdy and you want to get rid of him, that'll do it too.
Do we have any other property owner comments tonight? Yeah, if you're ready.
Yeah, I guess so. So hi, my name is Elena Justino. This is my first time at a
Here,
meeting.
real quick, say your name real slow.
I'm sorry, my name is Elena Justino, so spelled ALENA JUSINO. I live at 4 Miracle Drive, and I guess my comment is about kind of a situation that happened that I think my friend Kennedy, who lives in one of the other condos, had emailed someone on the board about. It was about one time we were sitting on the soccer field with our dogs. All the dogs were leashed. We were sitting there and a Sun Valley Security, yes. Security had come over and had kind of said that we're not allowed to sit on the field with the dogs even if they're leashed up. We were just a little confused about that since the
Even
dogs
if
were
they
on
were
leash.
leashed up?
Yeah, he said, and he referred to a specific subsection of the rules. Kennedy had looked it up and said that she couldn't find it. So we just kind of wanted to address that, as well as if dogs can't be on the field at all, right over there, the soccer field. Our concerns are also then about the marina, if it's being sized down. So where are dogs supposed to go? If there's not a lot of room at the marina, there's not a lot of room at the mini dog park, and they can't be on that field. If that makes sense, if I articulated that correctly.
No, that makes good sense. And I do remember that email coming up.
Yeah.
Detailed
Yeah.
email.
I think there was an answer sent back that dogs, and I'm not sure, because I haven't walked that way in a long time, I used to all the time. I think there's a sign that says that it's not for dogs. We have very few areas that are not for dogs. There's always gonna be room at the marina. If you go into the off-leash area, you're free to let your dog free. If you drive your car down there, please, between the dog park and the parking lot down there, have them on a leash. But, or even if you wanna be in an area of the marina down there that isn't in the off-leash area, you're allowed to have your dog out there, also onto the spit area, as long as they're leashed.
There's a sign right at the entrance to the soccer field from the golf course parking lot that says dogs must be on leash.
Oh,
Yeah, it
so,
says dogs may be on
so they are
leash and
allowed.
clean up after your
They
dog.
were on leash.
Yeah, so there's no sign particularly saying they can't be there, they just need to be on leash and
Yeah.
clean up after your dog. So that's why we were a little confused, because he said there was a sign, but the sign doesn't say no dogs.
Were they cute dogs or?
Yeah, corgis, so I mean,
Oh,
do
really?
what you will with that, so.
I do remember the email, what I didn't, they just said field, and so the field was vague to me, I wasn't sure.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, we were too.
And
Yeah,
all of a
so
sudden I
it's the
thought of
soccer field that
fairway
we're
at the
referring
golf
to,
course or
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that'd be a different
Yeah.
story, right, completely,
No,
so.
I brought that up actually with Michael, did you wanna say anything on that, or?
Well, the report also indicated there was one elderly animal off
Oh,
in the report. So I don't know if you saw that. The
Yeah.
one owner did say that, you know, of course, the dog wasn't going anywhere because he was elderly, but he was off leash.
Yeah,
I
so,
think that was what attracted security there in the first place.
got you, yeah,
Somebody
so,
reported it to him.
Oh,
got it, that makes more sense, yeah, so we did hear there was a report, but that elderly dog was no longer there. He was there behind, like all in the other side of the field off leash, so that's completely understandable, but they weren't spoken to, it was just us.
Yeah.
So that was a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
concerning. And then also, I guess I wanted to address the rumors with the marina. I heard rumors that it's gonna be pared down in size and it's gonna be fenced in. Is that completely true, or did I miss something in the literature?
well, normally we don't discuss these things here, it's
Okay.
property owner comments, but I will tell you that we are looking into that, and I've let everybody know that's come or been interested in the dog park, that we are looking into putting a fence up. That was recommended years ago,
Okay.
and it should have been done. We had several incidences where there have been dogs that bit people, and then there's people that would argue that, but some lady has proof that this has happened, and I heard that a dog succumbed to some injuries that were sustained from another dog attacking it. So yes, we are looking into fencing it. We're not exactly sure what we're gonna do yet, but we are looking into doing that,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
But thank you,
Yeah.
thank you very
sounds good.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
I see you with your corgis over there quite often, they're
Thank
Yeah.
cute little guys.
Oh, thank you so much, and they love to say hi to you guys.
Any additional comments that you, no?
No, okay.
All right, thank you very much. And how about online, Spence? Nothing else?
Nothing else?
All right, thank you, sir. All right, moving on to consent agenda. Tonight, we have approval meeting minutes of September 4th, 2025, special meeting and approval of the meeting minutes for September 11th, 2025, both found on page 2 and page 4.
I would make a motion to have the board approve these two sets of minutes as submitted.
A second?
Thank you, Tom. All in favor? That's unanimous. The minutes have been approved. Moving on to item number 5. Tonight we have the GM report for September. It's found on page 7. Michael?
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, we're coming to the end of the season here. The E-Blast tomorrow will announce the closing of the flagpole. So we've reached that point where the temperatures are getting below that, and I believe it's going to be Tuesday, 29th.
I thought it was already closed.
Yeah,
I did
I
too.
thought it closed on the
Okay.
16th.
Is it still been open or?
I've got to look at the.
I've been watching the overnight and that's why I said,
Yeah,
it's closed.
I'm sorry, I can look.
No, no worries, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So it will be closed for sure.
I want to give you the correct, sorry about that. Let's see, because Max has not sent it out yet, so let me see what it says here.
I've been watching that
I
overnight.
think earlier they said,
We were getting
I think
close.
earlier there was a note on the E-Blast that it
So
closed
here
on the
is-
16th.
Yeah, he's quite cool, closing for the season on 9/29. So here's,
So they can stay open
here's
for
the E-Blast.
8 more days.
Go out tomorrow, yeah.
So 9/29.
Yep, so
It's Monday.
due to the forecasted cooler weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I quit closing, having my windows open at night now too, so.
It's getting cold.
Yeah, a little bit chilly. So for the GM report, as I indicated there, golf and turf care, September's been a strong revenue month for Kevin and the men's and ladies championships, the fall wind up, they've got their last member of the event coming up. The 50th annual Bellingham Amateur and Whatcom Seniors events are approaching. And then the winter series starts on October 4th, and I was surprised to hear from Kevin and Greg of how popular those are. And it sounds like we have some line dancing up there with the Nicholas Honor Stallions.
It's those Girl Scouts.
Yep, maintenance and facilities, the Area Z bridge components are in. They're gonna be installed
All right.
shortly.
Permits lacking.
You should see them, they're very impressive, they're in 2 sections, each lane. And so they're there in the yard, if you wanna go there and go ooh-ah, go look at them,
Ooh, me.
they're certainly worth all the money, they're not going anywhere, these are pretty stout.
We're just waiting on the permits still on that, right, for the
Correct.
county?
Yeah. Seasonal reflections, I just had to put this in here, and I did an essay. For those that don't know, I was a bit of a poet at Cal State. I won the common essay as a returning student. So I wrote an essay based loosely, just a short 500 word for the views. Read it, it's based on progressive insurance, kids who are like their parents, right, that ad. So kind of tongue in cheek, but my seasonal reflections, as autumn settles in Sun Valley, it reflects the changing seasons, quieter trails, cooler evenings, and the return of school buses on our roads. This transition reminds us of the importance of safety, continued stewardship of our facilities in preparation for the winter months. Speaking of facilities, anybody who drives on Lake Whatcom Boulevard will be so happy to see that asphalt section was replaced today.
Oh,
I
yes.
saw that.
Carletti Drive, Baja section.
Do they use professionals or is it still kids with their Tonka trucks?
No, this was Asphalt Northwest, NW, they did a great job. So,
I can't believe they.
you gotta go
tried
to
so
town
long.
now, you don't have to take Cane Lake and go over there.
Almost a year.
The one thing I did want to update the board on, we did have, security vehicle, the 2016 Honda CRV. One of the patrol officers got ran off the road on Lake Louise. this last weekend. He avoided the car, went off into the ditch, and we've got about, the estimate came in today from Olson's, $15,000. So, yeah.
What we thought.
So we tendered the notice of claim to Liberty Mutual because under the terms of the contract, the vehicle and the insurance are Sudden Valley's. Now, that is even with their driver, Joel and I confirmed that. So they will probably, I've been in communication with Liberty Mutual, they'll probably total it. They'll give us the ACV, the actual cash value, which will be probably in the $10,000 range. And then at that point, we'll have to look at accelerating the replacement because we have it in the cert for next year. So at this point, I did ask him, before I got the estimate, I asked him about a rental car, and we were gonna bring a rental car out. They're using the spare vehicle right now. This was not the driver's fault. He has been, as part of their policies, drug tested and all of that. He was not impaired, and if you look at where it occurred, it's about 150 feet from the stop sign. Coming down Lake Louise, you come over the hill on the left-hand turn. The oncoming vehicle came around and was in his lane. And if you take a look, he had nowhere to go. He went to the right and off into the ditch, and the bank is right there. So the entire right front side of the Honda is totaled, along with the suspension and the wheel and everything. But he wasn't hurt. That was the big.
That was gonna say, on the very.
Technically, it was a hit and run, even though there was no contact. We didn't have dash cam, we couldn't identify the other driver didn't stop. The other driver may not have known that he or she ran the officer off the road too. But I did want to let the board know, and we'll give you an update on that. We'll have to get board action on if you want to accept the actual cash value, if you want to negotiate with, that vehicle has 119,000 miles on it, and it's in 2016. So, I'll bring that details back to the board. It may be an online emergency vote to decide what you want to do.
And you're gonna.
We've still got the big truck that's out there though.
I'm sorry?
We've still got the big truck that's out there.
The Colorado is what they're driving, yeah. Just keep your fingers crossed that keeps running.
And you're gonna pursue with Pacific Security about the possibility of them providing their own vehicles.
Correct. Now, the operations manager there, Mark Lamb, he's no longer with their company. And so I went over there to the office because nobody was returning my emails. So when I went over to Olson's to look at the vehicle, I drove over to Pacific, it's right there. And they told me Mark Lamb was no longer there. I said, oh, great, thanks for somebody telling me. Because I had sent emails the day it occurred. Mike Brock and I both got a hold of Heston Towing and so first thing I did say was, look, with the contract renewal coming up, this is something we may want to consider, is that Pacific Security will supply the vehicles, either their own vehicles, or you'll lease vehicles and upcharge us for them. So, which is what we did at Suncadia. That way you always have, they assume the liability and the risk and the maintenance on the vehicle, because Mike Brock and Raphael compiled a list of the maintenance expenses on those two vehicles, and it, over the last 3 or 4 years, it's over $60,000 on those two vehicles, so it's about another vehicle.
Yeah.
So anyway, I wanted to end on some good news, but the good news was the officer was not hurt. So,
Very good.
if the board will stipulate to the remainder of my report, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Any additional questions for Michael? Okay. And then we're gonna move on to financial statements and review. Joel? Okay. Oh, by the way, that's page 9. Everybody swap on there. Oh, yeah, okay.
Be cold? Yeah.
Cool now.
Jesus, printing's getting smaller, I need new glasses.
The balance sheet's always tough.
Was that on purpose?
fit it all on one page.
Oh, it's even small up there. Can you make that bigger on the screen? Sure.
Just need a bigger screen.
There you
Are we
go.
looking at getting a nice big screen?
Yes, we are.
Can you guys see that? No, you cannot. Oh,
How about that? That's as big.
Well, there you go.
That's as big as I can get it.
Now you just have to move all over the place. But yeah,
Well, the
that's
good thing
good for me.
we won't spend long on this page anyways. Okay, so I'm going to be covering the July 2025 financial statements. Obviously, last month we did June, so now we're doing July 31, 2025, year to date. And I will start off with the balance sheet. That's the first page of these financial statements. And so the good thing about the balance sheet is there's nothing really remarkable going on. There's no new line items, anything like the PPP loan situation. I already covered that last month. There's no change in this, obviously this line item. And everything else is pretty much tracking as expected on the balance sheet. So if we go ahead and, can you read that okay?
Yep, that's good.
Okay. So now on page 2, this is really probably the most important sheet. This is the income statement for the organization. As I said, look, it has a couple columns, current month, and then obviously this set of columns here. We're going to focus on that, which is year-to-date, January through July 31. Just so we budget for a 95% collection rate. We've done that for years, and that's what's in the 2026 budget as well. You'll see we're coming in at 97.3%. Obviously, higher is better, collection rate wise, at the end of July. So 97.3 collection rate at the end of July of 2024 is 97.47%, 97.5% rounded collection wise. So we're pretty much on track with where we were at the end of July 2024. Now for August, those numbers have been calculated already. So the collection rate, the good thing is for August, it's 97 points, so it pulls ahead to 97.5%. And in August of 2024 is 97.5%. So we're basically neck and neck with exactly where we were last year. And I guess I can just cover this real fast again. Just to put this in perspective of what that means. And I've said this from month to month, I'll just quickly restate it. So like I said, we're at 97.3%. So we're 2.3% over our collection rate year to date. And then since we budget for a 95% collection rate for every 1%, so in this case we were 96%, if we maintain that by the end of the year, then operations would get an additional 28,561, serve additional 14,463, roads an additional 14,875, mailboxes just an additional 266, because obviously portion of your dues from mailboxes is the lowest out of all of them. That's why that one comes in a lot lower in terms of if that got to 96%. So basically if we came at 97% at the end of the year, you could double those amounts, 98%, triple them. Obviously we can only go up to 100%, but so like I said, at the end of August, we're at 97.5%, which is great. So we're tracking what we've done last year and pretty much the year before that. Now, just to get to this bottom line, this net income bottom line number. So we're looking at this number right here. This operating net income for the association at the end of July is $269,266. At the end of July of 2024, year over year, it was, last year it was $570,375. Obviously, we've got some things going against us this year in terms of, well, like for example, one would be like contract professional services. You'll see this is around $44,000 over budget. And that's just because of our One Digital HR consulting services. And quite frankly, that just wasn't in the budget. So we signed that contract after that budget season had ended, and that's why those numbers aren't reflected in the budget. So that's why this line item is going over budget by that amount. Obviously, for the 2026 budget, I went ahead and just budgeted $25,000 for that year. So something is getting into the budget for 2026. Let's see, so I'll just quickly cover this.
I got a quick question. Are we
Sure.
utilizing the HR company?
Yeah.
To the extent we are?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna, real quickly, we're just gonna skip ahead to the admin page where you can see that popping up. So you see this, it's literally the last item on the admin departmental income statement, and you'll see actual 41,500. Under other professional services, that's all that HR consulting. That's what that number is made up of. And that's all that, so the things that go to that line item would be outside type stuff, like the HR consultant, if we had, once in a while, we haven't done this obviously this year or last year, but if we had, if we contracted employment services like temporary staff services through Express or whatever, that would also go to that line item as well. But at this point, it's easy to see what the HR consultant is, since that's the only thing going to that line. Okay, I'll just quickly hit on just a couple more things that's running us over. So you can see under this CCRs and mandates, so it's over budget by 71,484. That's largely legal expenses. That's over by approximately 80,000 through the end of July. And then regulatory compliance, you'll see that's over by 56,000, that's hazardous trees. So that's around 72,000 that we're over budget on hazardous trees. And since we're talking about hazardous trees, so back in, I believe it was, maybe that was April or so, where the board approved an additional 100,000 come out of UDR for hazardous trees. So through that $100,000 approved amount for hazardous trees, at the end of July, we had now used 59,000. So we have about 41,000 left at the end of July. So that just gives you an idea. I mean, obviously hazardous trees has been a big component. That's precisely why, like in the 2026 budget, why that amount has been pushed up to that $250,000 amount to help address that for 2026. And like I said before, so you'll notice, that when I start picking out, say like these line items, anyone can look up what really contributes to this, like on the full set of financial statements. So you'll see contract professional services, it's over by about 44,000. So on the long set of financial statements, on the Finance Committee webpage, it's like a 33-page document. You can go and find this exact document. Then if you scroll through here, you'll see like on pages around 6 and 7, that's where it actually breaks it out by a major kind of bucket category, contract professional services. You'll see there's a 43,852 over budget amount. And then you can see the individual line items that contribute to that make that up. And other professional services, so this is lumping together all of those professional services line items from every single one of those departmental income statements. But that's, if you want to see it in a snapshot, that'd be a quick way to look at it. So, long story short, like I said, we're at about $269,000 net income. The end of July last year, we were at about $570,000. The main difference in this case will be a few of those line items. Golf is one that's running about $100,000 net income wise. In terms of like just total net income versus last year is around $200,000 for golf. And things like ACC, new home building fees and stuff like that, those are creating differences from one year to the next. Now, if we skip ahead real quick to the reserve cash balance activity sheet, this is basically, cover this every single month, and this is a really handy sheet too, by the way, that I look at all the time. This really factors into the 10-year capital plan and stuff like that. And this is just showing you beginning balances of these major reserve funds, surf roads, mailbox, obviously like which are dues for the capital portion of it. There's surf, there's roads, there's mailboxes. Here's the UDR category for operational dues, emergency ops. But we'll just quickly focus on surf real quick. It'll be the same drill for every single one of these categories. And this shows you the beginning balance. At the end of 12/31/2024, if you go back to the balance sheet, you'll see that exact amount on that comparative balance sheet line item, far right column. And then you'll see this is all the cash coming in, dues received, and that's just it's current year dues plus any past dues that someone say like they owe dues for 2024 and they're paying in 2025, all of that gets into the dues received amount here. Interest income, some sale of assets. Then 2025 expenditures, you'll see this 391,062. This is all the cash literally going out the door to pay for open capital projects. In this category, we take the surf loan payments out of as well, so that also becomes a component of these 2025 expenditures. And then down in this category is the outlook, so to speak, the projection. And this is at a 95% collection rate, then we would take in an additional 572,497 August through the end. So literally for the next 5 months of the year, August through the end of December. And we expect this to be higher than this since we're tracking higher in collection rate. And then another big category, you'll see this is where $138,766 left in surf loan payments through the end of 2025. This is the big one, the obligated expenses holding, that $1,062,000. And if we go to the capital project report, there's that $1,062,594 here. And this sheet, what this is showing you will be all the open capital projects that the board has approved. Obviously, if we just go right to the bottom, the turf care building remodel, so it's easy to see. Board approved it on May 22nd, 2025. Board approved amount $116,785 here. There have been no checks cut on this through July, so that's why this is saying obligated funds are $116,785. So then that amount becomes a component of this $1,062,594, but all those line items contribute to that amount. So basically, it's just assuming that all of these projects that the board has approved, that we're going to expend that total amount on the board approved amount. And that's what then is here, this $1,062,594, then subtracts out the available cash. And then we have, so this would be the balance sheet cash at the end of 12/31/2025, $3,013,988. And this last item, this board recommended carryover balance of $600,000. That's just the amount the board would not like to drop below. So then you have a net usable cash. So through the end of July, let's just say we didn't approve anything else, August through the end of the year, then we would expect to have about $2.4 million in net usable cash at the end of the year. It's the same drill for roads, mailboxes. We don't have any obligated expenses for that. So that's why you don't see any approved projects for this. And then UDR, emergency ops, basically it's just interest coming in. But the UDR fund, of course, I mentioned this month to month, and I'll just go and mention again real quickly what UDR is, undesignated reserve. This is for when people pay their dues from a prior year. So now that we're into 2025, if someone pays their dues that were owed, say in December 2024 or before that, when they pay their dues, the surf roads and mailboxes element of those dues go to these respective funds. The operations portion of that from 2024 or earlier year, that segment of it goes into this undesignated reserve account. And it builds up these cash accounts. You can see this cash coming in here. And then in this case now, the UDR fund, the board approves expenditures to come out of here just like the same as surf and roads or mailboxes. So you'll see we have obligated expenses, real close to $58,000. The last page of this report is showing you the UDR. These are all the approved amounts let's go to UDR. But you'll see, like for example, there's that 2025 hazardous tree removal. So when I told you we used $59,000 at the end of July 2025, you'll see there's that total invoice amount, $59,138. So we have about $41,000 left out of that hazardous tree removal. And that's where we have that close to $58,000 amount that when we go, there's that amount again here. So we're just assuming we're going to spend all this money, and then that gives us a ending balance of $287,295. So that's the amount that's available right now if the board approved any more expenditures out of UDR. So the last thing that I'll cover real fast, and we'll be done with this. We're just going to cover the year-to-date income statement, but now you're seeing it in a little different format. This is showing you on a departmental basis. There's that $269,265 operating net income, And this is essentially showing you which departments contributed to that amount. So you'll see net, better, worse, far right column. Like for example, ACC security, this top one right here, says it's worse off by about 37,000, meaning worse than budget by 37,000. ACC security, remember when I told you on the main income statement, 3 different categories that where we were over budget, well, the hazardous trees goes to ACC security. So that's why ACC security is worse than budget. Common cost right here, worse than budget by 66,000. Legal expenses comes out of the common cost department. So that's what's the large thing driving that one. Golf, okay, so I do touch on golf every single month. Let's go ahead and touch on that here. So you'll see the actual revenue from golf, $906,291, far left column. So at the end of July of 2024, it was $915,704. So the revenues are, so the revenues are less than by about $9,400, which is really great considering, you know, the impacts of, especially like Canadian visitors at the golf course, so on and so forth, with the current conditions. So the great thing is golf is not taking as much of a hit as maybe, you know, we feared would happen on a revenue standpoint. And even in, so that's about 9,400, and in August, I believe that gap even closed a little bit more, maybe within about 4,000 or 5,000 or so. So that would be the revenues, actual salary benefits, and then all other expenses, basically these two amounts right here added together would be all the expenses for golf, and those two come up to $793,560. In July 2024, it was $709,693. So expenses are up by about, I would say about $84,000, more close to that rounded. And obviously we expect that to happen, just payroll alone is higher, you know, by the CPA the year before that. Sand and gravelins and so on and so forth, like raw materials. And some of this is also from year to year, it just depends on, like when Greg has major orders of sand brought to the golf course, it doesn't always track from year to year exactly when, you know, he could have more sand showing up through August and maybe the year before that, it could show up later on the year, like in prior years, so on and so forth. So some of this can kind of move around. But when we create these budgets, we create the budget spread, I should say, by looking back on like the prior year of when expenses hit in the month. And that's when our budget spread is like programmed into the system to show up. So let's just say Greg ordered, you know, a bunch of sand to show up in July, and the year before that, he had a bunch of sand show up in August. See, that could create a little kind of situation where things are a little off from one month to the next. But obviously, the more you get on throughout the year, closer you get through December's reporting, then the more that just naturally smooths out. But you'll see, here's the net income for golf, $112,731. The end of July 2024 is $206,011. And that's just a function of, like I said, expenses are $83,867 more than the year before, and revenues are down by about $9,400. And those two combining together create that difference between the $112,731 and the $206,011. Marina, I'll just touch on this real fast. This one is very similar to last year. You'll see Marina revenues $243,643. Revenues at the end of July 2024, $242,960 through July. We'll just skip right to the net income for Marina, $228,098. The end of July 2024 is $232,767. So it's within it's about $4,700, right? It's within that amount. But I would say for the most part, that's pretty much, that covers the main highlights of the financial statements. If anyone had any questions about these, sure.
Linda?
Me always, on page 1 of your document, 9 of 28 of ours, up in current assets, there's prepaid expenses that's high, it's $180,883. What is that? It's too early to be golf.
Okay, so the main line share, all of these prepaid expenses will be prepaid insurance. So in June is when we make those really big insurance payments up front for the whole year, June through June, basically June through May of the next year. So that's why you'll see that go up, especially in June.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure, because normally, you know, there's very few times in the years where we see a
Yeah.
high number there.
And actually, this is a perfect example, because you'll see December, see how that amount is 82,148?
Yep.
Obviously, the insurance is more expensive in 2025 and
Yeah, it
2024.
took
But
a
that's-
huge jump.
Yeah, that's a clear-cut example of like, as that insurance gets expensed from month to month, then 1/12 of that comes out of prepaid expenses.
Okay, got
So
it.
that's why that amount goes down.
Then on page 2, R10 of 28, what's our expense to revenue ratio?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
90, I think it's like around 91.2%, which is better than last month.
Yeah, so at the end of, so July 2025 was 91.2%.
Thank you.
At the end of July 2024, it was 81.1%. Of course, this will always be, and this is the one example you want that ratio to be less, you know?
Yeah, I know, it was just creeping up
Yeah.
like in when we got June, so I was hoping this would look better, it does. The only other question I have is on page 12 of 28. Marina's still taking, and they took in just in July, $12,083. Is that all dry storage? Because I thought most of all the wet storage was already covered.
Yeah, so for July, so they took in 3,530 for dry slip income, and wet dry combo 6,128.
Oh wow, why was someone, I thought those were supposed to be all taken in, or did they just get it rented to somebody? They must have just got it rented to a couple people.
Yeah, they probably did.
Okay, filling some of the empty slips, okay, that's all my questions.
Okay.
Oh, I want to make a positive note though, that if you look on page 13, that when we go through all these, we look at that final line on the right side that's net or worse than budget. We should note that accounting is 13,000 better, not in the hole, but doing better. That facilities and maintenance are both in a positive instead of a continued negative. And they don't have a lot of room for revenue that's outside of that, so that's really good. And then the marina has a positive number, which is nice. It's just nice to see positive numbers there.
You know, and by the way, since you mentioned facilities, so all those leases like Christ the King Church, library, and so on and so forth, that goes to facilities.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying, it's encouraging to see positives there rather than negatives. I'm done with this, that's all the questions I have.
Thank you, Lynn. Any other questions? Thank you, Joel.
Yeah.
Hearing none, we're gonna move on forward to committee and task force updates, which I don't think we have a task force anymore, so just be committee updates. Architectural control, Daniel?
Nothing new, we only have 4 items on the agenda this week though, which is great.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
We only have 4 items on the agenda this.
Wow, good for you guys, need a break.
I think they're just trees.
Well deserved.
Yes, but September is here, and then there's October when everybody has to stop digging and building, and everybody's digging and will be going, I need an extension, please.
Very nice. Yeah, you guys have been doing a stellar job, by the way.
Thanks.
Document review?
We had another meeting, we've been working on 3 more policies, I have a couple I'm gonna speak to you about that I think I just need to send to Michael and then bring back to the board. I'm gonna be ready to bring something back in October.
Excellent. Finance committee,
We had to cancel our finance committee meeting because we couldn't get a quorum. We had Rick in Europe, we had someone having a hip replacement, her husband was having a hip replacement, for some reason she thought that was more important than our meeting. I don't know. And we just, everybody just.
Couldn't do that on a weekend?
I know, it was so rude for him to schedule it that day, but, you know, she took care of her husband, so that's all good. And we just couldn't get enough people, so we had to cancel the meeting.
no worries, thank you for that update. Long range planning, we don't have.
We had our meeting canceled last month because we had the special budget meeting for the board. But we do have a meeting coming up October 3rd.
October 3rd, your next one?
Yeah.
Very good, thank you, Ray.
Is Rob online?
Is Rob still available online? Can you see?
Is Rob still online,
Spencer, is Rob on there?
He's not.
Okay.
I did send him an invite though, in case he didn't get one, but he's gonna show
Mr.
up.
President,
Yes, sir.
if you'd like, I did meet with Rob in the N&E Committee. So the ballot box is upstairs at Elegave.
Yep.
On the wall, and we have taken the next steps to get them all set up to start harvesting the ballots out of that box. So staff, Mike Brock and myself, were the staff members who were the witnesses today. So apparently it's a two-part process, right? You have the NE and then you have the staff members. So that was the update. I wasn't here last year, so I'm learning right along with everybody else.
So the ballot's been mailed out to everybody, is that correct, Linda?
I believe so. I believe they've gone this
So I
way.
haven't received mine yet, email.
Paper ballot,
I
you
think they
should.
just, from the meeting last night, I know the Canadian ones went out a couple days ago, and I think what did he say, they either went out yesterday or the day before for the US, so it's only
It's
been
just
a
supposed to
couple
be
of
like a
days.
day or a day or two apart,
Yeah.
depends upon when they
It's
can
only
get
been a day or two
courier
since
to-
they were mailed, so they should be here,
I bet you we'll see them before the end of the week.
yeah. Tomorrow or
just
Monday, you
tomorrow.
should get your ballots.
When's our next meet and greet?
On the meeting, ooh,
I can tell you,
It's in October.
Because that was her email I
It's
saw.
on
was
Saturday.
Ballots are out, but the meet and greets are they're not delayed.
I wanna say it's like the second Saturday in October is the meet and greet, and there's another candidate forum
That's
also.
I'll give you a second.
And so October 11th
October 11th.
at 6:30 PM in the dance barn is the next one. And then you have the meet and greet I'm looking for that one. That is on Sunday, October 26th at 6:30.
And where's that held at?
That would be the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
place.
Dance barn as well?
Yeah.
Okay, just so everyone online can hear that. So October 11th is the next meet and greet, or candidate forum, and then October 26th, the meet and greet. Both of them at the dance forum.
Yes, sir.
October 11th at what time? Sorry, I didn't
6:30.
write it down, 6:30.
Yep,
And what time's the meet and greet?
6:30.
Same, same.
6:30, I think the forum's at 6:30 too.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you very much. Safety committee, anything? No, right, that was canceled this month. Thank you, Tom. All right, moving on to continuing business. We have the capital approval request for the Barn 6 project, Whatcom County pre-application. That is going to be on page 15.
And Ray, would you like me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. So the capital, the approval request, is to seek board approval for professional services by Carletti Architects PS to conduct the feasibility study, design revisions, and to file a pre-application meeting with Whatcom County regarding the Barn 6 pavilion replacement. So as you recall now, this simple pavilion replacement concept here, the Long Range Planning Committee has identified community needs that are showing. The revisions include relocation of the basketball court, addition of kitchen showers and so forth, adjustments to the building ridge line. This updated scope, though, provides for the Whatcom County pre-application meeting and delivery of a revised cost estimate reflecting the expanded program. So, Ray, anything you want to add to that? The request is for, based upon the proposal here, $6,150 from Barn 6 surf replacement line item.
Yeah, this is just for a pre-application for using the same footprint. And it's really nothing inside, it's just so that the architect can meet with Whatcom County and address all the issues environmentally with the river and logistics, see what can happen here. We've got a bunch of verbal stuff, we've got some emails, but someone needs to go talk to them to really find out exactly what is needed. And so we really need to push this forward. If there's an opportunity to do barn 6, this will clarify it.
Yep.
So this needs to happen as soon as we can get them going, so.
All right, I'm gonna read the motion, and then if we have any questions, we'll go from there. So the motion is move that the Board of Directors approve the proposal from Carletti Architects, PS, dated September 9th, 2025, in the amount of $6,150 for Barn 6 pavilion replacement, design changes, and pre-application services to be funded from the 2025 SURF Barn 6 pavilion replacement line item.
Second.
Thank you, Linda. Is there any questions or comments?
I have questions.
Okay, who said that? Linda?
Me.
Go ahead, Linda.
So I'm just wondering do we know, you were saying with the pre-application, are we talking about looking basically at just what we had for things that were pointed out in the first floor of the the two-story build will be included in that?
That is, I'll answer that for you.
Just kind of a basic.
Yeah, so in our meeting, we met with Ray, Rick, and myself. We went down to Carletti and met with them down there. That is basically correct. Everything, it doesn't mean that that's what will be in the pavilion in the finished plans.
Yeah.
Carletti suggested, or Quentin suggested, that we keep everything in there so it's a broader conversation with the county.
Yes.
That doesn't mean, like I said, everything will be included in that, but that is correct. It'll be a single-story structure.
Yep. Just wanted to make sure. The other thing I was wondering is, does Carletti have any idea how long it's gonna take him to come forward with this?
Great question, and I wish I had an answer for you, and I do not at this time.
You know, I'm just saying, we're all talking about
That's a
them
question
going to the county, and then you have to wait for your appointment.
I thought of it after the fact.
That's why he said he pushed it, it's the sooner we get in there, the better chance, the more information we can get.
So hopefully he's gonna push as quickly as he can with the revised estimate and drawings.
He knows, he's already got the drawings, we got.
Oh, all right, you just need to take the
Existing,
roof off.
existing pavilion.
Yeah.
Same footprint, so there's
Yeah.
no problems. I mean, this is just pre-approval.
Gotcha.
What can
Okay, I don't know
happen,
what you need to take to the county, so I might be asking a question
He doesn't-
inappropriately.
Yeah, he doesn't need much, but you gotta put something in
Yep.
before they can give you information.
Okay, sounds like a plan, thank you.
Yeah, other questions? Dan?
Yeah, I just need clarification. So what's the status of the design of this structure at this point? We're just trying to get approval from the county to possibly do these things, or is there actual design that's being presented?
Do you want to do that, or I?
Go for it.
Yeah,
There
there
should
is.
be-
So the design we saw with the footprint that was at the last town hall that showed the single-story structure. Basically, that's what he's going for with the county. That doesn't mean that design's gonna stay exactly the same, because there's some issues with the way the barn, there's wasted space in there, and I think there's some value engineering that could be done, that we might be able to reduce the overall size of the structure or make better use of the space within the structure. So in talking with Quentin, we all met with him, he suggested we leave it as it was shown in the town hall, to submit that. That doesn't mean that'll be the final interior design of the space. The outside, the footprint will remain the same. I talked to him about a couple other things, it's getting long here, but I talked to him a couple other things, and he just suggested we leave it as it was now to go to the county, and then we'll discuss after he hears back from the county. Yeah, there's some things I'm not in agreement with, on there as well, the generator and some other things.
Yeah, I mean, just following the town hall meetings and all the things that have been going around this, I really think we need some serious buy-in from our neighbors. I mean, I don't want this to be a community center to be an ironic name, because nobody feels like they're a part of this.
Yeah, well, so we've already had, the surveys are done, and this was planned years ago. Nothing's been done with it, unfortunately. It's just sat, and it's pretty much back to what the community asked for originally, that advisory vote that everyone talked about. And by the way, advisory is strictly that, it's just an advisory.
Yeah, I agree.
But all of that is in here, with the exception of adding, well, there are adds, like the showers, the meeting rooms, and technically, so I talked to Carletti about this. We don't really necessarily need meeting rooms in there, but we need storage, right? So storage, because that's for craft fairs and things like that, you need tables, you need those types of things, right, to have. But the meeting rooms came out of necessity because of the barn 8 repairs that we need to do here, like the 5 million or 4.8 or whatever it was here. to do that, we will need a place, why this is being revamped or whatever we're doing here, to hold our meetings over there. So we need a place to do those types of things, a place to move the gym, equipment and things, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
people,
question any of the decisions that have been made on this, but I really think the community really needs more buy-in on this. I mean, the design that we have right now might be perfect, but if the community's don't feel like they were a part of it, it's gonna be a real problem.
Okay. We'll go Tom and then Tom.
I kind of disagree with Daniel's statement there, because you say the community. And I've talked to a lot of people in this community, a lot of them didn't even know about it. And when I explained it to them, they want the two-story structure, they want the big building. And I'd say maybe 98% of the people I've talked to want the bigger structure. And you say there's.
I mean, again, this is anecdotal.
It's a few people on Facebook that are raising.
No, I go to the dog park, and I see kind of the opposite, so.
They want another dog in.
And they don't want to either.
Linda?
I think the thing I find, and I continue to find it, and I continue to see it on all the Facebook stuff I read, and I have to really put my hands in my pockets.
It's a good thing to do.
Good, I appreciate that.
Because there's so much misinformation out there. You've got people up in Geneva saying, there's gonna be an $8 million building down there, and it's gonna be an event center. And as everybody's already said, no, we're walking away from that. We're gonna take something that's much more in line with what is a necessary facility for here. It isn't like a bad thing. Barn 6, when they tore down Barn 7, I'm gonna do a little bit of history and waste a little time. Our insurance company wouldn't give us very much money, and they were reluctant to give us as much as they did because we never did the maintenance on it. And if you look at Barn 6, there's no doubt in your mind, and Tammy and I have been spending plenty of time in there lately, that it's just, there's nothing done. It's just left. And we don't even take the loose roof pieces off. They just fly off in a high wind, And I'm saying it's time that we do something. I tried to bring up at the meeting the other night when we did the candidate forum. We've lost Barn 7, we've lost the rotunda. And I asked people in the audience, how many of you know that these facilities even work here? We're losing our facilities. The campground's gone. Yes, the golf is up there, but the buildings are they're totally gutted inside. But it's like, we've lost all that. We're not gaining anything at all. And it's time to look at this, because if we tear that down and we opt to build nothing there, once you make that commitment, you have a window that you can rebuild, and if we don't, it will stay empty. And given where it sits in the watershed now, and the new, the 200 feet?
The buffer zone.
The buffer zone, you bet we'll never get to build there again. So that's my concern.
Well,
There's a lot of misinformation out there.
I don't disagree with any of the decisions the committee's made or your opinions, and that's not even my issue. And, it may be we need a little more outreach. It's hard to get our point across to people who don't come to the meetings or don't read the paper.
Yep.
That's a big issue,
That's a
but
problem.
I still
it is a
think
big
that's
issue.
something that we need to pursue. And again, I'm not making any judgments on whether we need a generator or a football or basketball court or what. I just think that the community needs to be a bigger part of this, and it's kind of incumbent on us to get that out there. Otherwise, it's gonna be trouble, we've had this kind of situation with the Welcome Center. Right or wrong, I'm not expressing an opinion whether we should have bought it or not, but we didn't get the right buy-in, and I think we need to work on that.
And that still haunts us.
No,
That's another point I made.
And I appreciate those comments, but to me personally, because I don't want to sway anybody, but it's like beating a dead horse. I've been here 10 years in Sudden Valley, and that barn has looked like that for 10 years. It's never changed. They've done community surveys, they've done advisory votes, and everybody wants the pavilion, and you know what I mean? It's like, how much input do you really need before somebody pulls the trigger and actually starts to do something?
I think that's up
to
to
get
us
that
to
taken care of.
determine what would make them happy, because I know there's a lot of people upset about it. I talk to people all the time.
Well, because a lot of people are misinformed, they
I know
believe
they
it's
are.
like they keep saying, like I do peruse Facebook, I don't post on anything, I haven't in a couple of years, since it's no point. There's like an echo chamber on there, and people keep going with the greatest event center in Whatcom County. It was never, because someone said, unfortunately, it's an event center. Well, Sudden Valley has 7,000 residents in here. It's an event center if you want to have a retirement party, or you want to have a baby shower, or birthday, or an anniversary, or something like that. It's an event center for the community. Just like Bellingham has several places you can rent out to hold those types of things. That's for us to use. It wasn't really intent, and everyone's running around, oh, they want to bring in, Skagit County is going to come to Bellingham, they're going to come to Sudden Valley? Why would they do that? It's for our use, for the community's use, and that was the intent. So it really got kind of misconstrued, and it's been on Facebook and blown up like to ridiculous proportions. When I look at it, I'm like, wow, we're gonna have monster truck rallies here. You know, it's like, come on, guys, this is like really
WWD, Dublin Basketball Courts.
So, we have more? Good. All right, Tom?
Yeah, my question is, what more can we do? Like, we've had 2 town halls, we put out the e-blast, it's in the paper, and still, we get very little feedback other than that core group of people that argue.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how we can make it any plainer, or how we can get more feedback. You know, if we send out a survey, we'll get another time.
Yeah. Timey?
I agree, we have, people forget that we did do the request for information right at the very beginning when long-range planning started up. They asked, rather than having skewed questions, they asked for information. But that being said, I think you're right. I think if we can, whatever we can figure out to do, try to, work against that negative, that false narrative that's out there, because there really are people still saying there's a special assessment this year, even though they can see that there's not a special assessment. People are saying that we're still spending 8.4 million, even though that's not what we're doing. So I think we do need to work against that negativity and the misinformation. So I don't think, another town hall is not a bad idea. Another article in the Views explaining, how it happened, and, reminding people that, we have tried to give them input, and, please don't listen to Facebook, because, if you're getting your information on Facebook, half of it is just not true.
Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about, and I think, I see some of this stuff on Facebook and I'm thinking, well, I can't really point to anything that would contradict these things. Is there some location we can go to, FAQ, what's going on? People want to know. I can't really give an answer because I'm not sure myself.
Yeah, so.
But we need.
So legal actually recommended, actually a few years ago now, that we actually hire an employee for public relations that would just handle those types of things. And with our, our budget and what it is, we really don't have the extra money to hire someone just to respond to Facebook posts. And what I have noticed about most of the Facebook posts, it is like truly an echo chamber. It's like one person will post and the same 5 people respond and then start responding to each other.
It is, but I would love to just put a link in there and answer that question. Look at this.
So this is why I no longer post. So a couple years ago, I responded to someone who was very prominent on Facebook, and she promised me, I don't mean to say she or he, but she promised me that if I told the correct information, and I should know right better than most, and I responded with the correct information, and she refused to apologize for anything she said about me or the board. And after that, I said, obviously this makes no sense, I will no longer post anything to anybody's issues.
Well, I wouldn't want to respond personally. I would say,
I felt
to
the need to.
these answers. These are the answers.
Again, well, you need a PR
Something that the
person,
board
or you need
is-
admin, or somebody that starts looking at all that. It's a special job. You have to have someone just geared to do that type of
What if
thing.
we have one location on the website that had all our FAQs about this project.
Again, what I'm saying is you would have to have somebody dialed into that actually would have that information. You can't just have it, you have to have a link to it, like you just said. That means someone has to draw the link, has to have it there and accessible to these people. And then you need to respond, what, daily? Hourly?
No,
I mean,
he's
they
saying-
change.
No, you
He's
put it
not
back.
saying
I
about-
kind of like this suggestion that he's done.
It's not a bad suggestion, it's just, again, it's the money of having an
No,
employee.
he's not
with
saying
the
respond to
ability do
everyone,
it.
he's saying that if you, like, it's like when you do a QR code and you scan that QR code and it has all this information. You know, if you wanna know the real information about Barn 6, scan this QR code and it will bring you to this. And it's one thing, you don't have to do anything once you put that QR code on the website or in the views or something similar to that. So it doesn't have to be, we're not gonna be responding to individual people, it's just letting people know, here's a
About our
timeline, here's
projects
what's
or
going on,
Or
yeah.
if I'm talking to somebody at the dog park and they
Okay.
say something outrageous, I'll say, look at this website, I'll send you a link.
Well,
Yeah,
they should always be contacting admin first and foremost, but they never do. They always put their questions or cues out to the open public. And it's like, who would I talk to? Call admin, who's gonna know best? What admin?
yeah.
You should be calling admin first instead of posting on Facebook for a response from people who really don't have a clue. And a lot of them just theorize or have these ideas and that's what they say. Oh, this is how it goes down, and that is not true at all. Call admin and you'll get the answer.
Well, you shouldn't have to call admin, you can look at the website.
Okay.
You should be
Well,
able to
geez, don't
either
pick up
look
the
on the
phone.
website and see
Would
the
spend your time
packet.
doing that. I mean, come on.
No, I think he's right, but I think we're kind of getting off track with that.
Tom?
Yeah, just one last thing. You know, I moved here in 2014, and this subject has been going since I moved here. And it just keeps,
Oh, you moved before I did. You got
it
there.
just keeps getting kicked down the road, and kicked
Yeah.
down the road, and kicked down the road, and buildings are becoming more and more dilapidated. We have to do something.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
All right, any more questions? Right.
Yeah, I'd like to just bring it back to the motion.
Well, I'm gonna read the motion and then we're gonna go, unless you have another question or comment.
No, that's it, because we
Okay.
don't do get this done, we're not
Yeah,
doing
all
that.
right, so I'm gonna read the motion, all right, thank you, sir. I'm gonna read the motion one more time. Move that the Board of Directors approve the proposal from Carletti Architects PS dated September 9th, 2025, in the amount of $6,150 for the Barn 6 Pavilion replacement design changes and the pre-application services to be funded from the 2025 SURF Barn 6 Pavilion replacement line item, and that was a motion by me, seconded by Linda. All in favor? And Rob is not online? Stu is, I mean Spence, is Rob not online?
well, he can't vote anyway.
He can't
Oh,
vote.
that's right, I'm sorry, thank you. That's unanimous. All right, moving on to continuing business 6B is a short-term rental task force discussion. So the short-term rental task force came back with some advisory votes or advisory votes, like you got me on advisory votes now. With some ideas for the short-term rentals. And I don't know, I hope everyone had a chance to review that. I don't know if you had anything tonight you wanted to add to it or talk about, take off the table, or what your thoughts are on this. Has anyone reviewed the task force recommendations?
I did earlier, but I don't have it with me.
I think the whole point of Daniel moving forward, and it's what made me put the bylaw
Yes.
recommendation forward, is a comment made, one of your other members was here and saying, you know, there's nothing in the bylaws. And that's even what our attorney has said. And I think that hopefully we can put enough out there to encourage people to vote yes for that measure, to let us be able to start to get a handle on these short-term rentals. I think no one has any idea how many are here in the valley.
Right.
You know, and that has to do with the scraping service that you talked about undertaking. But it's looking into that and at least being able to give us a grasp. In theory, our bylaws say, if you rent something to somebody, you have to give us your documents. STRs have never done that. We even have trouble with people that have long-term leases that rent to people. But until you really put something in there that now includes those short-term rentals, there's nowhere for us to really start from very far. So I think it's a good start. I think starting out the way you want, if the bylaw measure gets approved, it will give us a good jumping off spot to go, hey, we can move forward. Then look at the, the application that you put in and the things you want from them, that sort of thing. I think that's reasonable. We can start looking at, do we need to change our rules and regulations a little bit? Until we know we have the authority to do it, we're kind of at a standstill. But I liked a lot of what you brought forward.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is a good first step. I think, hope it goes through.
I think it will. It's my guess, but.
I hope so. It was the one meeting where we had we were upstairs at that time, a really evenly divided side. One side was against it, the other side was for it, and we got a lot of feedback. I really appreciate Joanne, our general manager at the time, being willing to come forward with me to that, and the response to it was just, for me, it was shocking. When I sat at the table and somebody said, I bought my house out here, I don't live in it, I only use it as a short-term rental, it was like somebody slapped me upside the head. I'm not kidding, I never realized people were doing that. It just, to me, that's shocking, and I guess it's because I've lived here too long. But I hope that the membership sees this as a way forward to us helping people that live by STRs. Some who say, I don't have any problem, fine. We hope to just continue having it that way. But those people who do have problems periodically have a resource, and we have a resource to find out, hey, it's this is the person who's responsible, and if people need to be fined, then owners get to be fined.
Yeah.
Very good. So at this time, I would like to recommend that everyone keep reading this because, on our AGM, we're gonna have that measure come up, and the measure gives us some teeth to actually enforce some of these great recommendations from the task force that came forward. But I still think we need conversation, and we all need to agree on exactly any of these or all of these we're gonna follow. So we'll keep this on the agenda in the next couple, maybe meetings, maybe we'll wait a meeting or two. We'll bring it back up on the agenda so we can continue the conversation about this and see if there's any more discussion about that. That's good with everyone.
But thank you, Daniel. Great start for
Yeah.
getting that together.
Yeah.
That was a hot button. No, thank you.
All right, moving on. Moving on to item number 7, new business. We have the capital approval request for the 2025 computer replacements. Michael?
Thank you, Mr. President. This capital request and the following request they kind of dovetail because they're coming out of the same.
Read them independently though, but I got it, yeah.
So first of all, computer system replacements. Purpose of the request is seek approval to allocate funds from the CERT budget for the replacement of outdated desktop and laptop computers that cannot support Windows 11 following the retirement of Windows 10 on October 14th, 2025. We currently maintain 30 computers in different departments. Of these, 19 machines cannot run Windows 11, no required replacement before Microsoft terminates the Windows 10 support. Running unsupported systems creates significant cybersecurity risk as the patches and security updates are no longer used or issued. So to maintain the integrity and compliance, Spencer and our IT firm and myself recommend replacing 14 desktops and 5 laptops. 7 of the desktop units will be replaced with laptops to provide staff with portability and remote access. So again, the Windows support ends on October 14th. Replacing the equipment ensures that our systems remain secure, reliable, compliant, and minimizing the risk of disruptions. So the funding, this would come from the CERF allocation for this year, where you have $21,632. The estimated project cost for these before taxes, shipping, and price is $13,680. We estimate around $15,000. So that's gonna give you a remaining balance of from $6,000 to $7,900 available for future upgrades or the next project I'll talk about. Which was requested by the Safety Committee and Rick's not here. So the proposed equipment you'll see are the Dell Micro desktops, $639 a unit, and the Dell Pro 16 laptops for $739 each. And we're requesting board approval of those. We approve the expenditure, you can see it in the motion there.
All right, I'll read the motion at this time and then we'll have.
Just a quick little input if I may.
Yeah, please.
It was hard to get a very accurate price on these things because the price does fluctuate a bit from time to time, so by the time we actually go and purchase them, they could be a little cheaper, they could be a little bit more expensive, but either way, it should stay in that same range.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So I'll make a motion now, or read the motion. Move that the Board of Directors approve the expenditure of up to $13,680, give or take, from the Surfline item computer systems for the replacement of 19 computers, which consist of 14 desktops and 5 laptops as recommended by management.
Second.
Thank you, Tommy. Any questions or comments? All in favor? That's unanimous. Now here's the next proposal coming out of the same fund, so. Go ahead, Mike.
That money.
So, Rick Asai and a couple of other folks suggested that we look at upgrading or doing something with our Panasonic data projector that we've been renting for presentations in the dance bar. So the screen and the data projector, we've been renting from this AV company. And they offered to sell that to us for $1,632, which I don't think the machine itself is all that great. However, it's a great backup that we could have for this room or the Welcome Center. The screen, however, the used screen, that's a good screen. Those drapers, the 16:9 screen, to get that for $1,000 is great because they normally go for $5,000 or $6,000. So along with that though, I did source on our Amazon business account a new Panasonic PTVM Z61. It's the newest LCD laser projector. It's 6,200 lumens. Well, the one we've been using is 2,000 lumens.
Oh, wow.
So to give you an idea, this one is $28.97 plus tax from Amazon. So the whole ask here is, let's go ahead and purchase the used screen and the used data projector, which we can use portable, and let's purchase the new Panasonic. So, and I apologize, the used one's a 4,000 lumen. But so anyway, True Audio is the source of the used equipment, and Amazon Business the source of the new laser projector. And that would be managed and equipped and maintained by Spencer.
I'll allow you a backup then as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we won't have to rent it,
Yeah. All right, I'm going to read the motion. Move that the Board of Directors approve the purchase of the AV equipment as follows. 1 Panasonic PTVM Z61 WUX GA LCD laser projector, 6,200 lumens, white from Amazon Business for $2,897. 1 used Draper 16:9 projection screen from True Tone Audio at a cost of $1,000, and 1 used InFocus 4,000 lumen projector. That's a used InFocus 4,000 lumen projector with case from True Tone Audio for $500, for a total of $4,397. Funded from the surplus and computer system line item as previously identified.
Second.
Thank you, Tommy. Questions? All in favor? That's unanimous. And that was Tommy, right, for a second? Yeah. Okay. All right, next one we have a ratify. So this one I can read. So we had an emergency board executive meeting because the heat pump went out for the clubhouse So on the evening of September 16, 2025, El Agave Restaurant, tenant in the clubhouse under our commercial lease, reported a complete loss of hot water service. SVCA maintenance responded and determined the existing Norwich tankless water heater, 380,000 BTU tankless water heater has failed with leaking heat exchanger and no power to the control board. And that's because it leaked inside and fried everything. Under the El Agave lease, SVCA as landlord is obligated to maintain and supply utility services in good working order to the leased premises. A failure to this system leaves the clubhouse did leave El Agave without hot water, directly impacting business operation and food service compliance. An immediate solution was necessary to restore service and mitigate SVCA's potential liability for lease breach and business interruptions. So they went out with several proposals for this. We had an option to come in with the 380,000, the same like-for-like unit from California, but it was going to take a week to get in here. The other option was bring in 2 units, smaller units, at almost double the price, near $18,000 or so. And we ended up, I don't know if I need to read all this. The long and short of it was, we ended up going, the best option was, there was 3 options on there, or 4 options. The best option was a 200,000 BTU tankless with an existing storage tank. So there's a storage tank already that the clubhouse has. So the on-demand water heater basically fills a reservoir, and then they draw from that reservoir. So in my thought, and Mike Brock's and Michael's thought, we really didn't need to have a 380,000 on-demand tankless water heater because it's really just filling up a reservoir. So they're getting all their water from there. So the best option was to go with the 200,000 BTU tankless, which is the highest you can get, 199,000 for, I guess 200,000 is commercial. Tankless with existing storage tank was recommended. Description: install one 200,000 BTU high efficiency commercial tankless unit connected to the clubhouse existing hot water storage tank. The idea is we're thinking that's going to be enough capacity to handle anybody there. In my opinion and everyone else's opinion, including Linden Sheet Metal, who did the work. So I'll read the, because we already did down there, for the motion.
Yeah, it's to ratify not
Yeah,
approve.
Yeah,
Good
so,
job.
where you at?
Like in the motion, you
Yeah.
ratify not approve.
Yeah, so we're gonna ratify the emergency expenditure, which we've already approved, at $10,650 for the replacement of the failed clubhouse tankless hot water system, authorizing staff to engage Linden Sheet Metal for the installation of the 200,000 BTU high efficiency tankless water heater with a storage tank integration, restoring hot water service to El Agave Restaurant and the clubhouse facilities. We did that, it was done the following day, so we were able to get it, because we did it that way, we were able to get it installed the next day after it expired, so.
Make it great hot water too.
Yeah, I can imagine, so, yeah, so it was well done. Anyway, so we just,
Linda's already seconded.
I second you.
oh, you did, thank you.
I snuck in there real quietly.
All right, we have any questions?
I just have a discussion.
Go ahead, Linda.
I see that Michael's had here to take it from the 2025 surf kitchen equipment line item. I'd love to see if we actually have a line item in the reserve study. Because it was as expensive when we purchased that first direct water, that perhaps if there is a water heater in there, we should put it there rather than just lump it. Because then otherwise nobody will realize when it's been replaced.
So it was roughly 9,000 originally. Is there something in the reserve study for the water heater?
Is there a water heater for the clubhouse?
Yes, there is.
It's way out there.
2036.
2036, that was why I wanted to move it up, because you got the kitchen equipment line item. for
Yeah, that's
this.
true, but I would rather see
Yeah.
it put in here since we've had to replace it now.
Sure.
It didn't
Oh, yeah.
last until.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
move it up, sure.
Yeah.
So just to make sure that we give it that line item in the reserve study, that's the only thing, rather than just kitchen equipment.
Yeah, so next year's capital plan and reserve study will show that that was done in 2025 in this case.
Excellent.
That works.
Perfect.
I just wanted to be sure about that.
There we go.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'd rather leave
Yeah,
that
I was
money available.
I was
for
winging
that.
it that night, trying to put something in
I
there
know.
so we could get it bought. Thank you.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you, sir. That's unanimous. moving now, we're gonna actually,
No, we need to appoint, we have D, we
Oh, we
need
do,
to appoint
D.
our new member to the ACC or simply, or
yep, Terry, okay, on to new, business 7D, is the appointment of Terry Nyblock. Is it Nyblock?
Black.
Nyblock,
I made that mistake too.
to the ACC, and she's been vetted.
Yes.
All in favor? That's unanimous. All right, now, we're gonna move into motion to move into closed session at 8:31 PM.
Second.
Can we take a break?
Yes, sir, we can.
maybe make it what, 8:30?
8:31, we're gonna move into closed session.
Well, we're gonna
We'll
take a break,
Yeah, take like a
so
5-minute
20
break.
minutes.